my name is Sion. Today, I will tell you about American histories. In this space, I learned about early American history. In 1492, Christopher Columbus found the North America. And after that, in 1620, the British Puritan who wanted religious freedom arrived in Plymouth on the Mayflower. When they arrived there, they had a hard time, but Indians helped them, so they succeeded in pioneering. After that, the Great Britons built the 13 colonies in America. The Great Britain's finances were running low, so they took excessive taxes from the colonies. That's how the angry colonists started their War of Independence. In 1775, the War of Independence was started. The people were angry because of excessive taxes for the things they didn't want. So they threw the 342 boxes of the black tea into the sea. In 1775, War of Independence was started, and 1781, George Washington's brilliant leadership gave Yorktown a big win. And 1783, the Paris Conference recognized the United States of America, the independence. After that, they established the United States of America. Great leaders such as George Washington, James Madison, Thomas Jefferson, and John Adams helped establish the United States of America. United States grew together and they expanded more and more. In the northern parts, they developed cities and factories, and the southern part, they developed farms and agricultures. Slavery was very important because South needed in the farming. However, because of slavery, they had a trouble. The end of trouble, the Civil War was started. 11 states seceded from America and they formed the Confederacy. In the Fort Sumter and Bull Run, South won the battle. North America armies was weakened, so they allowed the Federation to join the African Americans, and they trained harder. Finally, the Northern armies won the Battle of Antietam, and they also executed the March to the Sea for the divided Confederacy. Finally, the Confederacy was surrounded, and the War of Civil was ended. United States grew together, and they grew more and more, and they became the great powerful nation. When we pray to God, God hear it, and God help us. We can all think through Christ. Thank you for listening.
Hello, today I will tell you about Mr. Judson and Myanmar. Mr. Judson was the first American missionary to a foreign land. When young Edonyam was 14, he became very sick, and he knew that everyone dies someday. When a person dies, he goes to either heaven or hell. Mr. Judson went to college when he was 16. Mr. Judson's family kept praying for him to be saved. Mr. Judson thought about death, heaven, and hell, and asked Jesus to save him. God showed Mr. Judson he should go as a missionary to a foreign country. Mr. Judson married a Christian woman. First, he planned to go to India, but God showed Mr. Judson to go to Burma. So he went to Burma and he translated and preached gospel almost 14 years. When he died, there were 700 believers and 163 missionaries and pastors were there. And I learned about Myanmar. Myanmar is once called Burma. Yangon is the seaport of Burma and once capital city of Burma. Myanmar has a 3 seasons, a hot dry season, and warm dry season, and hot rainy season. And Myanmar has animals such as the elephant, deer, rhinoceros, tiger, and monkey, and water buffalo. Myanmar is a very small country. Mr. Judson persevered in Burma And when a person perseveres for God, he does not quit even during difficult times. When I learned this pace, I thought Mr. Judson was great, and I was good that I learned many things about Myanmar. Thank you for listening.
Hello, I'm Drake. Today I'm going to introduce Social Studies 1038. In this space, I learn about directions, distance, and maps. People discover the North Pole and South Pole. Admiral Robert E. Peary discovered the North Pole. And Captain Roald Amundsen discovered the South Pole. Distance is the space between the two places, and we use scales to measure the distance. Kilometers are metric ways to measure the distance, and some scales show miles to measure the distance. People need transportation. To travel and go somewhere, people began ride animals to transport things. In desert, people use camels for transportation. Latitude lines help measure distance from equator to North Pole, and longitude lines help measure distance from prime meridian to east or west. What I felt was I want to learn more about longitude and latitude lines. Thank you for listening my oral report. Presentation.
Hello, my name is Leo. I'm going to tell you about early American history. In this phase, I learned about Señor Coronado, a Spanish explorers captured many Indians. The captured Indians often used as guides. Coronado found several cities because Coronado looked for gold, but there's no gold. But his scouts found the Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon is a deep valley and national park in United States. Pilgrims settled to Plymouth Rock. Pilgrims came to Plymouth Rock because they need religious freedom. People came to Jamestown because they wanted to make money. In 1620, pilgrims sailed to America on a small ship called Mayflower. There were 102 passengers. Pilgrims prayed to God to keep them, so they landed in a rock named Plymouth Rock. There was Indian who helped pilgrims. Their name is Squanto and Samoset. Squanto showed the pilgrims how to farm. On July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed. There was war between America and England. America has won the war. So the Liberty Bell was rung every July 4th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Louisiana Territory was bought from France. There was explorers named Mr. Lewis and Mr. Clark. The gold was discovered in California. Many people rushed to California. The bald eagle is a symbol of the United States because it is great strength and courage. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Peter. Today I tell you about oceanography. The study of things having to do with the sea or ocean is called oceanography. Let me tell you about the ocean floor. The shelf of land in the ocean near the shore is called continental shelf. The steep slope of this continental shelf is called continental slope. At the bottom of this continental slope is the ocean floor. It's difficult to imagine how much water God has placed it on Earth. Science tells us 71% of Earth is covered with water. Oceanographers use some tool to explore the ocean floor. A machine that it has how long it takes to travel from the ship's bottom to the ocean floor and bounce back again is called the fathometer. A person can swim underwater. A diver who wants to look out on the world underwater, he uses a diving bell and wears special diving suits and boots. Also, they could stay underwater in bathysphere or bathyscope. In 1951, sailor aboard the Challenger found the deepest place in the Mariana Trench. The deepest place in the ocean is called Challenger's Deep of the Mariana Trench. The seafood chain is the eating and eating relationship between living things in the sea ecosystem. A word for living plants that float in the seas is called phytoplankton. Sea animal called zooplankton. Zooplankton eat phytoplankton. Diatom of tiny living plants and all the most plentiful of all plankton. These tiny microscopic plants provide more food than any other living thing. Fish live in the deeper water, often have very big mouths, large eyes, and glowing organs that attract the animal they will eat. When I studied this space, I thought I want to go around in the ocean. Thank you for my listening.